We're looking at Mexico City, Mexico, the oldest city in the Americas, over 699 years old. Guess what? Your Washington Wizards taking another chapter in the international games of the NBA this season, taking on the Miami Heat. They are the host team for these international games. Moises Linares, Greivis Vasquez, my brothers, and you all here together for a Wizards preview of what's coming up. Obviously, it's going to be a great game, a regular season matchup between two strong teams. Wizards coming off of back-to-back wins against the Atlanta Hawks. We love that. But more importantly, continuing to grow the games, guy. I'm excited about the Altcast. We're going to get into that in a minute. But I'm excited for you, too. Because you got your first win the other night.
Senor.
He's turned it up.
Let's
and then,
go.
of course,
He's heating up. He's heating up. He's been here already, so I got to get into the groove of the NBA season. But we're ready to go, man.
We're going to bring it in, man. This is going to be great. I like that. It's going to be a great chapter. Great chapter. I want to remind you about what this slate is looking like for tomorrow. We got a lot going on Monumental Sports Network. So the Caps are actually in action hosting the Blue Jackets. That's a 5 p.m. puck drop here in D.C. And then my favorite part, pregame live starts at 9 o'clock right here. We're going to have a lot of fun at 9:30. The game is on, and this is what we're talking about. You're going to get the Wizards versus Heat on Monumental, and then you're going to get the first annual Spanish Altcast on Monumental 2, featuring these two great gentlemen, Moises Linares and Greivis Vasquez. Both of them are going to be on here. Make sure you take a screenshot so that way you don't forget where the show is. But guys, let's go ahead and get into it. I want to talk about the Hispanic influence on the game of basketball. You played it, you love it. You got a documentary about how much you love the game and what it's meant to you. What does it say about the NBA stepping back down into Mexico City once again?
Well, it says a lot. When I got to the NBA, previous for me to get to the NBA, we were talking about guys like Manu Ginobili, Escola, Nene Hilario, which is Brazilian.
Shout out to Nene, yes.
Those guys opened doors for me. Obviously, the Venezuelan Carl Herrera. And nowadays you cannot say like the game is becoming global. No, the game is already global. So being Latino, Hispanic, and you know, carrying that torch and continue to do that in the NBA now, doing it in broadcasting is huge. You know, I love the game of basketball, and I'm always gonna love the game of basketball. So to me, seeing the Latin community involved and Latin players is tremendous.
Well, it says you cover a variety of sports. Soccer or football internationally.
Football.
Obviously, he covers everything.
Everything.
American football on top of that and basketball. What is it about basketball that creates the unique opportunity to make it so mobile?
I love basketball, man. I grew up playing basketball, not tall enough to play at your level, perhaps. But the fact that it's just become so accessible, that's another big issue, right? Other sports are perhaps more expensive to play in Latin America. Basketball is one of the few sports where all you need is a ball and, you know, a court with two nets and you're pretty good to go. It's similar to soccer. Yeah. But I think the fact that the NBA has taken it upon themselves to grow the game, to go to these countries, to go to the Caribbean at one point, to go to Mexico. I think it's over 30 times at this stage. So it just shows you that there's a lot of interest within the Latino community, the Latin American community. We have markets such as Mexico, Argentina, Brazil, Venezuela, where they're hungry for content, for games, and for us to take this game, this beautiful game to their country. It shows us that this game is only going to keep growing.
I love it.
We're not even talking about Europe.
Right, we're still on
America.
This side of North and South America. Like, that's what you want to see, looking at these notable players that have been in the NBA from the variety of respectable countries. And to your point, Moises, yes, 33 games that they have done, so this would be the 34th one. Manu Ginobili, matter of fact, you guys are calling the game. Run down these names and what they mean to you. Moises, go ahead and go first with Manu Ginobili.
No, I have Gravies at number one. You know why? Because when I got to the DMV, I'll tell you why though. It's not because we're going to be working together.
Yeah.
Funny story. I get to the DMV back in 2012. We have a mutual friend.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh, I know Greivis Vasquez." And I'm like, what? You know, give me an interview.
Are you serious?
And I interviewed this guy.
Yes, he did.
He was on, you guys were on the road, right? And I go to his hotel, he comes down, we talk. Back then I wasn't big into archiving footage, so I don't know if that's still around somewhere, but just the fact that he was one of my first. I did Kobe in LA. And then I did Greivis here. He was my first East Coast interview. And from that point, we just built this professional, relationship. Whenever he's been in town, I've covered his fundraising events.
Yes.
So I've tried to keep that relationship just because you love the sport and because you see another fellow Latino just shining at the highest stage of the sport.
Full circle moment. Why didn't I know that? I know both of you. Why did I not know this?
That's why we're doing this job in Spanish, man. That's why we're doing this
I
job
feel
together,
like I got to
man.
blow my stuff up, man. Like,
But Manu Ginobili, he's the guy.
But
Manu's that dude.
we forgot to mention Al Hartford,
Yes.
which is an NBA champion.
Yeah.
The DR, Dominican Republic. I mean, it's a lot of they play a lot of basketball there as well.
Yep.
A lot of great players here in the United States that go to high school, college. So like we were talking, you know, it's a lot of Latinos or the Hispanic community
Yes.
and the Hispanic population, especially in DC.
Yes.
They're definitely gonna fall in love with us. Doing
Yeah,
this
yeah.
game.
It's the first time happening ever.
Ever. And you speaking about the DMV area, obviously there are some Spanish-speaking Latin American basketball players that have been on this team. And you mentioned the name. Good call out. I'm talking about Gravy Vasquez knows all the Wizards, but I want to take a look at some of the notable Wizards that have actually been able to play some of this game. And I love the fact that you brought up Nene. Nene was one of them strong, tall, hard, difficult people to play against.
Obrigado.
Go ahead and
Good
run
guy.
us some up.
Good guy. No,
Like-
that's all I know. No falo,
That's all I know.
no falo portugués.
Well, here's the deal. Not only do we appreciate what Nene was able to do when he was here, but looking at the current roster, a lot of different international flavor. Now, mind you guys, these guys, most of them speak French, okay? But there are a couple of guys on that list that actually do speak Spanish. Now, I know for a fact Tristan Vucevic knows like 6 languages. So does Jonas Valanciunas. But the top 3, you know, all 3 of those guys have some French in them. Shout out to Bilal for a great start to this season. We'll get into the conversation about him later on, as well as Keyshawn and Alex. But when I think about this trip down to Mexico City and the fact that, I'll just go ahead and let you hear from the guy himself. There's a player, and you're not going to believe which one of the guys on that list speaks Spanish.
Really?
Who do you think it is?
Valanciunas?
No, I think
You've been doing some homework?
I don't know.
You've been looking at my notes?
and I played with him.
International.
Get my notes.
International.
Get my notes, man. Why is he in my notes? Just press play, run the video. How are you supposed to know that?
I'm in Mexico City. I don't know what to expect, but I know it's altitude, so it's not gonna be fun. But I hope we can manage that and have a good game. Excited to be in Mexico City for first time. See how is the life there, and we'll move on.
I think it's just a mindset thing. Like, both teams are dealing with the same circumstances, so don't use it as anything other than that. We got a game, go play the game.
I think it's expanding, so it's great to see more and more, different countries hosting the games. Preseason, regular season. It's just globally expanding. So that means more business, more opportunities for players and for everybody.
Jonas Valanciunas, the culprit, who does speak Spanish. So yes, Moises, you were correct, and I'm going to figure out how you knew that later on. But I do want to talk about this matchup against the Miami Heat down there, because the basketball game has to be played. 2-2 versus 2-2. Wizards coming off back-to-back wins against the Hawks. The Heat coming in off a loss against the Knicks. But this, as Jonas said, is an opportunity. But remember, we talked about this last night, about the young guys being able to take what they've done on the road in Atlanta, here in D.C. How do they take that on the road down to Mexico City?
Well, to me, it's about the Wizards. It's about the way they've been playing.
Yeah.
Ball movement. They're definitely moving the ball pretty well. They shooting a high percentage from the field because they passing the ball efficiently. And to me, that is important. They're also playing great defense, and their best offense is their defense because they're able to run and find wide open shots as well. So, and obviously the hot start from Coulibaly he's doing absolutely amazing, running great offense in terms of pick and roll, making the right reads, and to me, it's gonna be a fun game for them, the young players. Bob is also doing really well. Keyshawn is doing outstanding, very solid player. I just love watching Wizards basketball, and to me, it's about them more than anything else in Mexico.
I think JP called them the Wiz Kids, right?
The Wiz Kids.
I like that. The young team, you have a bunch of rookies that are hungry to play. And you also see this team compared to previous seasons, accountability, leadership. You have your stars stepping up. Jordan Poole knows the role he's going to play. Kyle Kuzma said it before, right, during media day. The way you start is going to dictate. It's very young in the season, but how you start is going to dictate the rhythm and tempo for the remainder of the year.
I love it. Two things that I think that we're all seeing, and I think this might be contributing to the results that we're seeing. Discipline and fun.
Yes.
Create good habits. Be a professional.
Totally.
But at the end of the day, don't forget you're playing basketball. Go have fun, young man. Go get your blocks. Go get your rebounds. Do that thing, and we will teach you and grow along the way. And I think one of the people who has just been a breath of fresh air, we talked about it, we flew it out on social, great response to it. Jordan Poole's beginning of this season has to be something that you smile at if you're a Wizards fan or if you're in the Wizards organization. The way that he has started this season, this is what we wanted to see. I like that he's enthusiastic. His points averages are up. Last year, he averaged 17 points per game. This year, he's already at 23. 3 rebounds last year. He said, I'll take a rebound off, but I'll give you 2 more assists, and I'm going to add some more steals. Gravis, Jordan Poole right now is cooking.
Well, to me, he's not a different player. He has a different attitude.
I like that.
To me, he understands what he got to do.
Yep.
And he was playing for Golden State. He was a role player. Now he has to be the leader of this team. And it's not easy because you're going through a transition. It's not easy. So now he got a bunch of young guys, a great talent in terms of the youth of the Wizards, and he got to put all that together. And to me, it's a great start of the season for him, and he's doing extremely well right now.
Moises, when it comes to Jordan Poole, I know a lot of fans are excited to see him do one thing, knock down 3 balls. You're looking at his 3-point percentage to these first 4 games, and you see he's ranked number 7. Those are some serious names up there when you talk about all-time, first 4 games, all-time, most threes made. But my question to you is this, Moises. Is it not the efficiency of those threes that makes it the most impressive?
It is. But when you see where he comes from and who he was learning from, Steph Curry,
yeah,
you want to think he picked up a few things from actually not one, the greatest shooter we've ever seen in this game. I think Jordan Poole knows what his role is going to be within this team. Like Graves just mentioned, he was a role player in Golden State. Now he's the guy next to Kyle Kuzma. He has to take the baton and carry this team. Everyone else, although he's a very young guy, it's a lot younger than Jordan Poole. And I'll go back to that game against the Cavaliers because we were watching the highlights. At halftime, the Wizards are down, I think, 10 points.
Yeah, they're down.
He shoots a couple of 3-pointers. Not only does he make them, but he turns around and he gets the crowd into the game. And I think it just shows you that his mind is in the right place. Yes. Last year was a difficult year, right? He had to adapt and transition, like you said.
It's a transition, and Gravis and I were talking about this. We've done this a million times, so you already know where I'm going with this. The difficulties in changing position, changing coaches, changing organizations, that's a lot to deal with at 24 years old. Don't ask me what I was doing at 24 years old. It was not dealing with that kind of pressure. But then this year, he goes into the offseason, exhales, starts getting one-on-one workouts. Kuz invites the team out. Jordan invites the team out, and that chemistry starts to build, and they get back to just having fun, Gravis.
But let's not forget about something. He's a champion.
That part.
So he knows how to win. So we were talking about the other night, like he got to figure out when to score and when to pass because he's actually passing the ball really well, efficiently. Like last game in the first quarter, he wasn't trying to be aggressive scoring wise. He was trying to get his teammates involved. So now is this season he got to utilize the season in terms of like, okay, know when to score, know when to pass, and get everyone around you involved. But to me, the biggest thing about Jordan Poole, Moises, is like the right attitude. He got the right attitude, and that is what it takes in order for him and the Wizards to win games.
Well, see, that's the key point. And the Wizards. It's not just Jordan Poole. It's Jordan Poole and the Wizards. And you can put any player's name on that. The team effort, and I like what he's doing with the rookies. Like, let's really unpack what it has been to begin this season, 2-2, back-to-back wins against the same team. We had Keyshawn George on the other night, and he sat there and told Megan, it's like a mini playoff environment for the ability, and it's an early test for these kids to say, all right, got drafted, went to summer league, got to training camp, preseason, regular season, and you start to see the scale of tension and the scale of weight of games start to increase, and they're answering the call. Let's start with the big man. Big man inside, outside, because he shoots threes too. Alex Sarr. Gravis, real quick, and I want both of you to chime in on this one. What have you seen about the way that he has started the season that lets you know he's walking down the right path?
Well, to me, his motive, his energy, the way he plays defensively, and the way he's shooting the ball, like he's not afraid. I like that about him. Sarr is doing a good job playing within his game and understanding the game of basketball, especially in the league, in the NBA. It's totally different when you play in Europe than when you play in America. So I feel like he's doing a great job. Our head coach, Keith, is doing a great job utilizing him, giving him a chance to build his confidence. So throughout the season, to me, he's going to get better offensively because we already know defensively he is going to be a problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and to piggyback off his point, that's exactly it for me. You see him on the court, and he's a monster on defense, gets blocks, but not only does he get the block, he runs the other way, and he's pretty fast. So he has some handles to him, and I think that's going to play a big role throughout his career. I think he's still building his body. I think he's probably going to get a little bit bigger, get stronger. But when you see what he can do, that's the reason why he went second overall. And there was a lot of people saying that he could have gone first overall, right? And he just went to battle with the first overall pick in the last draft. And I think he did pretty well for himself, if you're asking me.
Yes,
and I think it's just a small glimpse of what this team could become. Yeah. I don't want to get too ahead of myself.
No, I know,
but the future looks bright when you see the core of players the Washington Wizards have right now on their roster.
It's a great preview, no pun intended, to what we're doing right now, previewing the international game between the Wizards and the Heat. That is tomorrow night here on Monumental Sports Network. What I love most about Alex Sarr before we move on is the fact that, yeah, he didn't have the greatest shooting performance in Summer League, came right back, got in the workshop, kept working at it. And that's what you want to see.
But that's what Summer League's for.
That's what.
I mean, what, you want to see an all-star in Summer League?
Come on, we want to go out and you want to learn. But you know who else had a great Summer League? The dude who almost had a triple-double as soon as he stepped on the court in Summer League. Bub Carrington. He had a triple-double when he started at Pitt first game. Bub, over these first 4 games, has been so consistent to me because he's got that Baltimore edge to him. He's got that Baltimore savvy. You saw a couple times he jumped up off the floor last night like, bro.
Are you hanging out with Gervonta Davis? Is that what's happening here?
Like, he is so serious. But here's the greatest thing about him. Off the court, sweet as pie, great kid, extremely attentive, well-disciplined, comes from a basketball family. On the court, Gravis, absolute dog.
I like him a lot. I like the fact that he's not afraid. And you know, the biggest thing about him is just like he plays under control.
Yes.
And he doesn't look like a rookie. Front office did a great job trading for this guy. He is doing outstanding. Great start for him as well. Honestly, it's just fun to watch. It's fun to watch. He bring that edge from Baltimore, bring that toughness defensively, and honestly, he's making great reads offensively. And to me, that is scary.
Yeah,
very scary.
Because it's just the beginning of the season, but I won't be surprised if they continue to do this as rookies. I mean, Bob is just playing outstanding. You can see last game, 16 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds.
Come on.
So this guy can help you rebounding as well.
Flirting with that triple-double.
Already.
Just flirting.
So here's the thing. The 3 of them combining right now are an average walking double-double off rip. You're going to get 23 points, 13 boards, you put them on the court. That's just what's going to happen. And again, their ability to learn and listen in real time cannot be understated, can't be overstated, can't be understated, can't be overstated. There was a moment where we saw in last game where we saw Jordan Poole, thank you for being mic'd up, JP, we appreciate that, telling them, hey, this is our chance to apply pressure. We can put our foot on them and they'll tap out, or we can let them back at the table and things can go a different direction. They responded and they listened. I would expect the 3 to be ready to listen and receive. The fact that Bilal Coulibaly was also listening and receives shows that he too understands. I'm still young in this game, but Bilal, I don't even need any notes for this.
Before you move on to Bilal, when we talk about these rookies, right, and we see what they're doing, how many other teams are giving their rookies these many minutes?
This is why
this
you want
opportunity to grow.
This is why you want to watch the Altcast.
This is why you want to watch the Spanish
right here.
Altcast for the first time in history.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
We're making history, Mark.
Yeah,
that kind of insight.
We're making history.
That's what it's about. The fact that this team is giving these young guys the opportunities early, right? When games matter, early. Not when, quote unquote, the season's out of hand. It's like, all right, let's just go give them some minutes and we'll see how they come along. This kid right here, Bilal Coulibaly, didn't even get a chance to play the last 15 games of the season because he was hurt with the wrist. Got healthy, went overseas, got a silver medal with Team France representing his home country, and came right back. Most people don't know this. He only stayed home like 10 days after that. He did the Olympics, stayed home 10 days, and got right back over here, got in the gym, and you can see the confidence, the swagger. And yes, he did grow a couple inches too. So shout out to Bilal. Speaking of growing, I got to give Keyshawn George a shout out as well. He's gotten a little bit taller as well. So let's get back to Bilal. Gravis, what has been most impressive to you about Bilal's growth from his rookie year to now his sophomore season?
Well, what impressed me the most is just the fact he can play defense and offense.
Yeah.
And I said it on the air the other night. Like this Bilal Coulibaly just reminds me of Kawhi Leonard.
Yes.
Young Kawhi Leonard. I mean, I'm gonna say it again. This kid can play in a high level in the defensive end and come back offensively and be efficient. I mean, watching offensively, I mean, he was running middle pick and rolls really well. He was shooting the ball really well. So Megan said it the other night, like the way he played in the Olympics and participated in the Olympics was huge for him. Tremendous experience. And now we can see the hard work that he put off during the off season, and it's gonna be fun to watch him the whole year around.
Guys, last year he's played 63 games. I told you about him missing the last 15 of them. He averaged 8 points and 4 boards. This year in the first 4 games, he's averaging 19 points. Like, you're not supposed to make that kind of jump, guys. You're supposed to go, I averaged 8 points in my rookie year, then my sophomore year I moved up to 10, maybe 11. You don't jump from 8 to 19, bro. And he's doing it, it just blows my mind. I'm like, hey, I love it. Let's keep it going.
A couple things to point out. One, you said he was injured at the end of the last year, right? Okay, so you can't, obviously he's not gonna be 100%.
Fair.
He goes into the summer, he goes into the Olympic Games, he competes against the best in the world.
Yeah.
We're talking about the growth of this game globally, internationally.
Yes, sir.
And he does what he does. He comes into the season in rhythm because it hasn't been that long since we saw the Olympic Games. So he has a different rhythm than the rest of the team.
I like that.
And then here's the thing. We're talking about he plays offense and defense. How about the defense against Jason Tatum during that Boston game, right? He forces him to miss a shot, and he goes the other way, and that's what he brings to this team.
Yes, the lockdown ability of Bilal Coulibaly on defense. Moises Lanada is my man. I appreciate you both hanging out with us. I want to remind everybody again, tomorrow night, say it, Moises, the first
ever in the history of the DMV, Washington, D.C. area, for the first time ever. I've been here 12 years, man, and I can tell you there's never been a Spanish broadcast on TV, right, on a digital platform for anything other than soccer. But the fact that we're going to have this now, Gravis, it just tells you at the speed this game is growing.
That's what it's all about. It's there. Gravis, it's
Fire
there.
Fire it up.
I want to take a look at the international nature of this organization and the games we've played overseas. Just a little history right now when it comes to the franchise and the international games. Again, the first NBA team to play an official international game was us in 1978 in Tel Aviv. How about this? We played preseason games in China, the Bahamas, Japan, France, Mexico. We're coming back. Germany, Spain, and Brazil. And don't forget, we've won the only international regular season game in London. Shout out to Cheerio Foggy Town. Overcame a 19-point deficit to beat the Knicks. I do not forget that game at all. That was what it's all about. But when it comes to the game, we got to give people a little sizzle, a little taste of what they're going to get. This is my friend, my brother, my hermano, Moises Linares on the call.
Atrás. Se busca a Ovechkin, el goleador con la finta. ¡Gol! CAPS, Caps. Ahora sí, Teaños a lanzar a lo profundo del terreno de juego. Ahí está la recepción. Touchdown. Touchdown de Washington. Touchdown. Está adentro. Touchdown.
Excuse me?
I'm working on some stuff for the basketball game as well, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's gonna be, but I'm thinking along the lines of Koulibaly hacia afuera para Jordan Poole, el triple de la Casa Blanca.
Let's go!
From the
I'm
White
turned up.
House.
I am turned
3.
up, bro. Like I am so ready for this call right now. First of all, I want to remind people again what you just saw. Moises Linares called a hockey game, okay? Called a hockey game. And then he also ran over and called a football game.
Yes.
Now we are honored to have him on our side calling a Wizards game, the first one of this nature. I couldn't be more proud than the two of you to be. Thank you for letting me share the table with you guys. This is going to be a great moment. I'm glad to be in history with you. Tomorrow, we've got a full slate. We want to make sure you're here. If you haven't already downloaded the Monumental Plus app, please do so right now so that way you don't miss out on any of this stuff. Saturday slate for the network, 5 p.m., Caps Blue Jackets here in D.C., 9 o'clock. Pre-game live with yours truly and my great crew, Jason Smith, Chrissy Winter Scott are going to be here. 9:30, a double dose of Wizards action. You can actually multi-view it as well. Multiple doors into our house. We just want you to take a seat on the couch and enjoy some good ball after the game, post-game live, presented by Robin Hood. Moises Linares, Gravis Vasquez. My name is Wes Hall. We've had a pleasure hanging out with you here on this preview stream. Wizards fans, we'll see you tomorrow from Mexico City. Until then, remember, it's always for the district.